Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It is Friday, October 27th, 2023, man. I'm your guy, Scott, your host. You know to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChairScott. You can follow the Barbers Chair Network at BarbersChairNet on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/BarbersChair Network. I'm going to make an announcement about that in a minute after the sound off if you missed the announcement earlier today. But we got a pretty I won't say random show, but kind of a random show because Mikey and Bang are both on the Barber's Chair IR right now, so they will both be back next week. We did have a guest today. Big Wild supposed to join us. He's also sick, so he'll be joining us sometime next week. So I had to shuffle the show around a little bit. So we've got the homie Pavy who will be joining us in just a minute to talk NBA in the first hour. Courtney will be here to talk about the MLB. We're going to be previewing game 1 of the World Series, which she will be at tonight, which is why she'll only join us for 30 minutes today. And then in the second hour, we got my brother, co-host of 79th and Hollis, co-founder of the Barber's Chair Network, Flows. He'll be joining us for all of our NFL talk in the second hour. We're supposed to debut the Cousin Dan segment today. We're going to debut that next Friday. I wanted to have the whole crew on before I introduced him to y'all, so we're going to have him debut next Friday, November 3rd on the show, man. So we're going to kick off with my sound off before I bring in the rest of the team for today's episode, man. I want to start off with load management. It's like we only like a couple, really 2 days into the NBA, and we already got to deal with this load management shit. I know I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this point. It is what it is, but as a fan, the 1 week that I'm super hype about the NBA, which is the opening week for all these big matchups you got. And we got to deal with, Bradley Beal's not going to play the first game. Bradley Beal's not going to play the second game. Devin Booker's not going to play the second game. Luka ended up playing on Wednesday, but that shit definitely went up to the damn wire. And to me, it's the point, like, we're already dealing with this 2 games in. This is going to be something we have to go through all season. I think this is the point in the NBA where I think it's no debate. This is the most talent that this league has ever had in 1 year. And I'm one time ever. Like, you can talk about 80s, 90s, whatever you want to talk about. This is the most individual talent this league has ever seen. But why does it matter if we only get to see these players play every couple times a week? And so I'm getting tired of that as a fan. I wish there was a way we could fix this. Now, maybe I'm overreacting. It's only been 2 games, and maybe Bradley Beal really is hurt. I saw the nigga playing preseason. Maybe he really is hurt. I didn't get the Devin Booker thing more than anything. You got LeBron James, who's in year 21. He's out there going full speed, played the whole fourth quarter last night. Y'all letting this old dude beat y'all and play more minutes, y'all? That's the type of shit that I just don't want to see as a fan, man. But I digress. That's my sound off. Now let's bring in Dante and Pav, man. They're going to be joining me here today. What's going on, fellas?
Chilling, bro. What's the word?
Wally's boy. Wally's boy. What's up, man?
Fishbowl.
Fishbowl wine glass.
Man had the big boy.
Drinking the Beaujolais out the fishbowl. What's good, bro? What's good, Wally's boy? What's good, man? Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody wishing me happy birthday yesterday. I did have a great time. Shout out my guy Pav. Hey, he's calling me Wally's boy. It's the king of Wally's over here.
Oh, man.
The president. Nothing happened. The nigga came to the table and said, Pavy, ain't seen you in a long time. So shout out my guy Pav. Shout out to everybody who wished me a happy birthday. I wasn't able to get to all y'all, but I do appreciate it. For all the birthday love. Now I'm 35 and it feels good. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a big birthday dude, but I was talking to Mikey, who's also like, yo, a lot of people from where we from don't make it to this age. I wanted to, so I wanted to live it out. So I appreciate I appreciate my guy Pav, all my friends, my family, helping me have a great day. So yeah, I did have to, live it up a little bit. So I appreciate everybody, man. We are 2 days to the NBA season. Let's just get right into it, man. Victor Wembanyama, debut, 19 points. I think he had like 5 rebounds. I don't have the exact stat in front of me. It was a long night, so forgive me on the actual stats. But What is some of y'all like initial thoughts? Were you able to actually watch the? I know me and Pat went the Clippers game, but I did have the game up in the press box while it was going on. What are some of you guys like initial thoughts to what you've seen from Wemby so far?
I mean, I think he's, as advertised, it was just unfortunate he got in foul trouble. The game, it was fluid. I think there was never a point where he ever really looked lost. I think, offensively, he really got knocked off his rhythm because he got in the foul trouble and had to sit down. But you see in that fourth quarter, when after they put him in, when there was about like 7 minutes left, like he really turned up for the rest of the game. And so, the things we talked about on defense, we saw that, at the end of the game, he was guarding Kyrie, the last few possessions. You feel me? So him being that type of player that you can put on somebody, best offensive weapon, I'll say a little bit, of course. But just, I think so far it was as advertised. And, it's I think it's only 2 games in. But as he continues to get more comfortable and continues to get into the flow of the NBA game, I think we're going to see him really take off.
Yeah, so like Scott mentioned, we were both at the Clippers game. So I didn't get a chance to sit. By the way, I want to say this. I thought the Blazers were going to be good. They're going to be one of the worst teams in basketball. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the National Basketball Association. But Wemby, again, I saw highlights. I mean, like Dante said, he was as advertised. Like he played good. He just looks fluid out there on the court. Defensively, he's the man 7, what, 4, 5, 7, whatever he is, and he's mobile. His jump shot looks fluid. You pretty much can't contest it at all. And I think the biggest thing with him is the other people on the team got to get out his way.
Yeah.
Like everybody else got to be like, bro, like here's the ball. Like I know most bigs, you got to do a thing with them, whereas you get them the ball. But Wemby, I mean, with his play style, with the things that he can do, you don't have to actually get him the ball. You can just give him the ball 26 feet away, as it seems, and he can make things happen. So, yeah, Wemby was as advertised to me.
Yeah, man. From what I saw, first of all, I got to Staples Center way too early. I did that last year. I'm gonna stop doing that shit, really, because they kind of changed like rules up on media. Like we can't be actually on the court anymore. Like we can be like behind the scenes, which is kind of stupid, but whatever. I'm not here to rant about that. So I'm not gonna be coming as early anymore. But I came super early to the game, and so I watched both games that was going on ESPN. And from what I saw from Wemby, man, I've been saying this through the preseason. I think he's going to live up to the hype, and I don't think it's an overreaction. I think the number one thing that I saw is he's got to stay out of foul trouble, which I think, as the season goes on, he'll learn to adjust to how the officials call the games, and he's the next future superstar of this league. So he's not going to get like, superstar calls yet. That I still think he probably a couple years away from, getting the superstar call. But I liked what I saw. He looks very prepared. He didn't look like the game was ahead of him. He didn't look like he was lost. I think, like you just said, Pav, it's about the teammates getting him the basketball. It kind of felt a little bit like doing LeBron's rookie year where, you had guys like Carlos Boozer and them thinking that, oh, well, he's here to help us. Like, no, nigga, y'all there to help him. Like, this is not that. This is a different kind of dude. And I think just the atmosphere you saw there. Well, I haven't seen that many people at a Spurs game, maybe since the 2014 finals. Like, it's been a long time since you had that kind of hype. And the Spurs actually look like one of those exciting league pass teams. I don't think they're going to be making the play-in or anything like that. But I do think that this gives them something to actually watch. And Wemby looks at his advertisement. I think defensively, his first play was a block. Pav talked about that on Monday. Somebody's defensive prowess. So I think it was as good as it probably could have went for a rookie. And I think that this is going to be something to watch the rest of the year. And I think that even overshadowed just how great of a game Luka had because, of Wemby's presence and just how everybody was real focused on him. And I think it was a good first game showing for him.
Yeah, G. And I agree with what y'all said, because there was moments in that game where I was like, why are y'all not just giving this nigga the rock?
Yeah.
Like, it was a lot of people just putting shots up. And don't get me wrong, they do have some nice young players on their team. But at the same time, I think it's going to take some time, but people going to finally realize, no, he really is the guy that they told us he was. And like, we need to play off of him. And like, he has the talent to take them to that, to that level. So once they get that in their brain, I'm sure I do like the Pop really just let them play. Like,
it's hard to do though. Like you can't
yeah.
like he's a guy where like number one, like he's so different than what you would, like, even me. Like I'm like, oh well, you 7'5", you should be on the block, you should be more in the paint. I mean, he got other skills. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of just gotta like let him roam and find out what he. I think even I saw Mike Brown talk about this on the All the Smoke podcast. He was talking about when Braun went off for those 22 points against the Pistons in the conference finals. He was like, sometimes the best coaching is no coaching. Sometimes you got to give some like when you have a special player, give him the ball and see what happens. And then you as a coach, okay, I saw this. He does this well. He does this well. He does this well. And just react to him. I think at some point in times, this is throughout all sports. I think coaches try to react to players. And there's some situations where you got to give a man the ball and just let him do what he does. And you react to him. And I think Wemby is one of those players where you got to give him the ball and just you react to him. Okay, he do this well. Well, all right, we got to put him on these positions. He don't do this well. Well, all right, let's not do this. So, and again, like you said, they not trying to make the finals this year. It's obviously a long game thing with him. You think this is the guy you can build up on for the next, hopefully 15, 20 years of your franchise. So, 1 year doesn't make or break you. Like, you're not trying to make the finals this year. I do think the Spurs have pieces. Like Devin Vassell is a guy who I think could be a 20-point scorer this year. Jeremy Scohan, I think it's Scohan. If I'm pronouncing the name wrong, I'm sorry. He's a good piece. Keldon Johnson's a good piece. Like, they do have really, really good pieces. But yeah, you got to just give him the ball and just figure out what he does best.
Definitely, man. And also, I think what you said, it's going to be about the other teammates trying to learn how to play with him, and that's going to come in time. And the best thing about Wemby, he's in the perfect situation because you got Greg Popovich. You know what I'm saying? Like you got him, and he's going to be able to groom him because he knows what it's like to have those younger talents who have like superstar talent with him. Like he dealt with it with Tim Duncan. He dealt with it with Kawhi Leonard, even though Kawhi didn't come in with this hype. Obviously, Kawhi was more groomed in the Spurs system, but he knows how to do these type of things. And I think what's also great for Pop is I think Wemby kind of gives him like a new fresh air when it comes to coaching. We know of like all the personal stuff that Pop has been through lately. He kind of felt like he didn't want to coach anymore. This is going to be something new for him, and you're going to get the best version of Pop, which is going to help Wemby out long term, man. So definitely interested to see how that's going to play out for the rest of the season. Last night, we had the debut of Dame Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm not calling those niggas freak show. Okay, that's not going to be called on this show. Terrible. Then the NBA needs to find a new name. I'm sorry, y'all need to come up with
a freak show. Ain't bad. Freak
show. No, man, it's too grown ass man.
Freak show, freak time, none of that, bro.
No. Actually, they call them freak time.
Yeah, freak time.
That's not it. Freak time. Yeah, that's not it, dog. That's not it, dog. NBA need to find something else, dog. But first game against the Philadelphia 76ers, and we will get into that mess that is James Harden in a minute. They won 118-117. Giannis had 23 points, 13 rebounds, kind of like a real, okay night for Giannis. But Dame Lillard, man, showed up. 39 points, went 4-12 from 3-point, 9-20 from the field, man. He showed exactly what he is trying to bring to this team. Had 11 points in the fourth quarter. This is a time even where they jagged the 19-point lead. The Sixers came back, cut it down to single digits, eventually taking the lead. I think there's gonna be some kinks that need to be worked out. But what's y'all first what y'all saw from Dame and Giannis the first time?
Granted, I didn't see the fourth quarter because
I know
Wally's boy wanted to hang out, so I didn't actually see the fourth quarter. But I think Dame shows you, I guess, the potential of just at least what he came in to do. Now, granted, there were times, especially early on the second quarter, when like Tyrese Maxey went off, I think for 11, where he shows you like, yes, defensively there's going to be some problems, but at the same time, you got to deal with him offensively. And it was just refreshing down the stretch to not see Dame, not Dame, but not see Giannis fullback dive 4 straight times and just see what happens. So and then obviously it's like for Giannis, I mean, this is obviously the best player you've played with. I love Chris Middleton. I think Chris Middleton has been a great second option for him throughout his career. But Chris Middleton may be heading towards the other side of his career. So depending on him first of all, depending on any level of Chris Middleton, is not depending on Dame Lillard. It does not equal the same, especially this version of Chris Middleton doesn't equal Dame Lillard. Again, I think it's just a great thing for both of them. Dame obviously is 33 years old. Even seeing the Blazers 2 nights ago without Dame. I'm like, damn, Dame was playing with this.
Yeah,
you was
exactly.
playing with this, bro. You was playing with this. G, they was trying to try to kill you, brother. Like now you got, Giannis, even like the pick and roll, like you saw him dumping it down, pick and roll, and just Giannis rolling to the rim and the high screen and roll, and Giannis being used more of as a roller. Like, yeah, I think I think it looked great. I think this is the team that, especially, I think this is a team that can win 55, 60 games. I don't think it'll take much for them to figure it out. As far as chemistry wise, I don't think it'll take much for them to figure it out. So I think it's a team that could win, like I said, 55 to 60 games this season.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I think now you go from having Chris Middleton as your closer to having Dame Lillard as your closer, and so that takes your game to a completely different level. And Dame last night was Dame, the Dame we see all the time. I think outside, I think a lot of people don't acknowledge it, but when you really sit down and look at it, like outside of Steph, he probably is the second best shooting point guard right now in the game. And so with everything he's able to do on the court, and you add that to a team with Giannis, it's gonna be nice. They look unstoppable, and then you're gonna have nice like this night where they come back in the fourth quarter and take a game that they probably should have lost and they end up winning. And so now we always talked about they're trying to foul Giannis in the fourth quarter. That's dead now because you got not only Middleton but you have Dame, who I think he was perfect with from the free throw line, but just an amazing shooter, an amazing closer on that team, and that's gonna make them like tough to beat.
Yeah, Pav definitely called me out. I did not watch the whole game yesterday, but I did actually circle back today. We were definitely drinking yesterday when the game was on. But from what I saw, with Dame, man, I liked what I saw. That's what you're gonna get from Dame Lillard. I like what he said in the post game about Giannis and the coach, Adrian Griffin, telling him that they want him to take charge of what he wants to do with the basketball. They pretty much letting him play point guard and figure out what he wants to do in these situations. And I feel like that's what they're gonna be. That's what they've missed more than anything. I know everybody talks about the defense. The defense you're going to lose without Drew Holiday. I get that. But in today's NFL, I'll say NFL, it was kind of the same thing in NFL. In today's kind of sports, really, if you take about NBA, NFL, it's about points. Like, if you just have an okay defense, you'll be fine. So they might not be top 10 defense like they've been the last couple of years, but their offense is going to get better just by default. And so if they can stay in like the 13 to like 15 range, I think they'll be good. And as far as Chris, okay, we'll get to that in a minute. I think with Chris Middleton, like, you really, whatever you give him Chris Middleton at this point is good because I think he is as cooked as he's probably going to be right now. I don't think the Chris Middleton of old that you got the year they won during the championship, I think that guy is gone because of injuries and things like that. I think it's more than anything is going to be what's the bench going to do, what's the coaching going to do, because I still think there's a lot of question marks on that Milwaukee Bucks bench. I even looked at the starting lineup and I was like, Malik Beasley starting. Like, there's going to be some additions during the trade deadline and, probably doing waiver wire. I think will help the team out. But just off night one, I liked what I saw from Dame. He came in towards the end of the fourth quarter, heated up, got them to where they need to be to win that game, and had a big fourth quarter. And that's what you want. And like you said, Pav, you didn't have Giannis doing, fullback dive, trying to get to the basket. There was a lot of nasty offense we've seen from the Bucks these last 2 years that really showed how much they needed Dame. So I think that for the first game, I think it was great, but definitely there's a lot more to go from here. But Pat, what were you saying about the defense?
It's just like a statistic. Like, I don't think any team in a very long time has won a championship without having at least top 10 defense and a top 10 offense. So they still need to have a top 10 defense. And I think they still will have a top 10 defense. You do have Giannis, who, again, now he don't have to score 35 points to win certain games. Like last night, he scored 23 and had 13 rebounds. I don't know how many blocks and steals he had, but he had 23 and had 13 rebounds. And from what I did from what I did see, he was the primary defender, or he took the challenge of guarding Embiid a lot. I think that's what you need more from Giannis. Like, Giannis needs to go back more into defensive player of the year mode. Because again, like I said, you like Dame scored 39. He could do that shit every night. He averaged 32 last season. Now, granted, I know he missed the last 25 games, but I think that was more of just Portland wanting to lose games besides like outside of like Dame just not being able to play. He averaged the most points he's ever averaged in life last season. So like, you have a guy who can go out and get you 30 every night. Maybe, you need to be the 25, 13 and 2 guy. And also I think the thing that you can't discount with Dame is like I don't want to say I've never heard, but I feel like I've never heard Milwaukee as loud as it was yesterday. I think the energy that Dame gives to the crowd just by his shooting and by his play style was something that can't be discounted. And might be something that might serve huge for them in the playoffs, especially like, you know, when you get like series, like game, like a pivotal game 5 and Dame comes down and shoots a 33-footer, like what they just does for the crowd and does for the energy of the team, I think can't be discounted.
Yeah, it definitely had like a playoff vibe. You can definitely see it was a playoff vibe up in there, man. So I definitely think that'll help. Dante, what you think about everything you saw?
Yeah, no, bro. I mean, again, at the end of the day, like I said, adding a player like Dame to a team that already has won the championship, it just takes it to a next level. And Milwaukee, that crowd, that stadium, like stadiums like that are like they go into my theory that like for a lot of basketball teams, it's better off to have just 2 rings. You know, it gives it a much rowdier college-like atmosphere in the building. I know, you know, the larger arenas like the Garden, United Center, Staples, they all got 3 rings. But that was just more so because those teams are, you know, major attractions. But for a stadium like that in Milwaukee, like I said, those are perfect. And so, like, I'm, you know, excited for the Clippers' new stadium because they got 2 rings. But, you know, everything you saw last night, like you said, that type of atmosphere is going to be there, I feel like, every night now. And so that's going to be a team that come playoff time, you're not going to want to go there to play.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about the Knicks, like there's a 3 rings, but you can during the playoffs, if you have a good TV nigga or a good sound system, you feel like you sitting in the Garden. Like that's how damn loud it be in the fucking Garden, man. Let's talk about the team that is the main team out here in Los Angeles. That is the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers won last night 100-95 over Kevin Durant and a whole bunch of Ralph baggers.
Don't do that.
It's Ralph baggers. Let's be real. It's Ralph baggers. Ralph baggers. Name the start lineup for last night.
I have no idea who the point guard
was.
I actually don't know. I can tell you. No, it's probably Grayson Allen, Josh Okogie, Kevin Durant, Nurk, but I don't know who the other person was. Who was the starting point guard last night?
I think I'm gonna look at this shit right now. I think it was Eric Gordon, wasn't it?
That makes somebody easy. Grayson Allen, Kevin Durant, Josh Okogie, and Nurk.
Yeah, it was Kevin Durant, Josh Okogie, Nurkic, Eric Gordon, and Grayson Allen.
Okay, yeah exactly.
Okay. Kevin Durant and the Durantettes. That's who played last night. KD had 39 points, man. He had 11 rebounds. On the Lakers side, LeBron played the entire fourth quarter, had 21 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. Anthony Davis had 30 and 12. My question to y'all is, because we just saw what AD did on Wednesday. It was Tuesday. It was Tuesday where he goes out there and he has 17 points in the first half. Then you don't see this nigga score for the rest of the fucking game. The question here is, do they have an AD problem? Because I kind of feel like LeBron James' minutes shouldn't matter this much this late in his fucking career. And I know he went up there and he said the right things last night about we don't give a shit about what, you know. Yeah, you're doing that because you're a good teammate. You're looking out for your squad. But there's a problem. Like LeBron was like, you might not have retired, but you thought about retirement for like 2 seconds because you get tired of carrying this nigga after y'all got swept by the fucking Nuggets. And what you also can't do after, you know, Nuggets talk shit all summer, rightfully so. If you win a championship, you can do whatever fuck you want. That's what comes with winning a championship. But then y'all in the media day tomorrow, well, you know, you talking a little bit, but me and Bron been having conversations, and we think it's going to be interesting next time we play him. LeBron did what he's supposed to do during the time he was allowed to play on Tuesday. What the fuck were you doing? And it's not a matter of talent. What pisses me off about AD is the talent is there. Like, if AD actually plays the way he's supposed to play every goddamn night, this wouldn't be an issue. So my question, I'm gonna go with Pat first. What do you think is the issue with Anthony Davis?
Here's what I'll say.
Is ever gonna change?
Anthony Davis, I want to see all 3 of y'all faces as we speaking. I personally want to see faces. The thing about Anthony Davis is man's like last night he had 30 and 12. He had 30 and 12. I think 3 steals and 3 blocks. The issue is, brother, you built a team like since LeBron has come to the Lakers, everything has been to help LeBron James. No matter what we want to say, now maybe we may be expecting Anthony Davis to supplant himself as whatever, but still everything has been to help LeBron James. When you build a team around a 39, 38, 39-year-old superstar, that's why his minutes matter so much. You build a team around it, like they don't have a backup point guard. The backup point guard is literally LeBron James. They actually low-key don't have a point guard. They have D'Angelo Russell, who is a combo guard, Austin Reeves, who is a shooting guard, combo guard. They have Gabe Vincent, who is a combo guard. When you saw Anthony Davis have his most success, who did he have? Please tell me.
Rajon
Rondo. You had a bona fide one of the from the past 15 years of the NBA. Rondo is probably, I think we can all agree, if we talk about a point guard, probably a top 5, maybe if you don't agree top 5, definitely top 10 point guard of the past 15 years in NBA history.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like he's top 5, top 15. So like you built the team around LeBron James, but we asked Anthony Davis to go to go superhuman. Like he's not a guy who's AD is not a guy who's going to get his own offense consistently. He needs help to get his own offense. Now, defensively is my thing with AD. Defensively, every night, AD should go out there and dominate. And when he doesn't do that, then I have issues. But offensively, I don't think. And then Darvin Ham say, I want AD to shoot 6 threes. The fuck is wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you? What? When was he a good 3-point shooter? When did this happen? Have you seen something? Has he seen something in El Segundo that I haven't seen? So like I don't think you have an AD problem. You have the issue of you built the team around a 38-year-old superstar. So when you build it, and I love LeBron, favorite player ever, my GOAT. Shout out my man's Bron, but he's 38. When you build a team around a 38-year-old superstar, that's why his minutes matter so much.
I mean, what's your take on that, Dante?
Yeah, no, he's right. Like the team has never been built around Anthony Davis, and then we asked Anthony Davis to do these things. And also, I think with the game against Denver, I understand he didn't score at all in the second half, and that is unacceptable. But we take for granted what he does on the defensive end of the floor and the amount of energy he exerts on the defensive side of the ball. And so, like, I want to see him do more in those games like that. And but also, that's game 1, so I'm not tripping the same way everybody else is about that. Like, if this was fucking game 5 of the Western Conference Finals, then I would be like, all right, bro, defensive issues aside, you got to give me more. But I don't think there's an AD issue. I think, like I said, like Pavy said, you built this team around LeBron James, not Anthony Davis. So it's going to come to certain moments where it's not going to work out in his favor because it's just not built to. So I think, they can overcome that because he is a great player. And that's up to Darvin Ham. Like you said, him saying he wants him to shoot 6 threes is not conducive to Anthony Davis being his best. We've seen him at his best, and that's not it. He's not a good 3-point shooter. And when we see him force the issue and shooting threes like that, the Lakers are usually losing those games. So I agree with Pavy. I don't think it's a AD problem. It's just more the foundation around him.
In about 5 minutes, we're gonna bring Courtney on to talk baseball. So we're gonna about 5 minutes. She has a rent she's gonna get off. I'm really looking forward to it in about 5 minutes. But I'm gonna say this about Anthony Davis. Both of y'all give good points. But yes, they didn't build the team around him, but also they brought in Anthony Davis, so LeBron can move a little bit back to the background, play the background a little bit, actually play the role of a 39-year-old player. That's what they were expecting to do. I mean, even LeBron said himself during media day, this is Anthony Davis's team. So yes, I agree.
Hold on, Scott G. Bron said that, and then mid-game against Denver asked for more minutes. Which one is it? What are we doing?
That's why, because he know this nigga can't do it.
That's not why. At what point do we realize he just want to do this shit?
This
might just be the way he want to play basketball. He's been used to doing this for 21 years. Yes, LeBron James. Okay. He's been doing this for 21 years. He might want to do it for 22.
I get you, but in order for them to win a championship, I feel like, and we say this every year, and I do believe, yes, having a point guard helps. I'm not going to take that fact away. If they had a Rondo or somebody who was actually a point guard and not D'Angelo Russell, it would help a lot. But just energy-wise, he needs to be more active. Like sometimes AD just be on the court,
Scott,
and he not doing nothing.
Scott, you played basketball before, right?
Yeah, I wasn't good at it, but yeah, I played basketball.
Dante, you played basketball before, right?
Yes.
Have you ever played pickup basketball and didn't get the ball?
No.
No, I'm saying, have you ever played pickup basketball and just like you didn't feel the ball enough? Pause. Like you didn't like nobody passed you the ball enough.
Oh yeah, depending on the team you on, yeah.
So you were just up there running up and down, right? Just
playing. You pretty much getting you running 3-line to 3-line at that point.
How much energy do you have?
Okay, now you comparing it to niggas playing a pickup game.
No,
one of the highest paid players in the sport.
No, I'm not, bro. It's like, especially if I'm a big, like if I'm a guard, it's different. I'm dribbling the ball up court. Like if I'm the point guard, I'm dribbling the ball up court. I'm feeling the leather, like I'm feeling good. If I'm a big, I have to depend on somebody else to get me the basketball. If all I'm doing is playing defense and like you said, running 3-point line, I might zone out a couple times. It might happen. Yeah. So and again, we talk about him having the 0 points. A lot of AD was on the court with them Gabe Vincent and fucking Austin Reeves minutes. So basically 2 combo guards who can't get you the ball. So now I saw a lot of AD being at the top of the key, acting like he fucking Jokic, trying to initiate offense through AD, and that's not what he's good at.
I'll say this as we move on. We got to move on. We on a little time crunch today. I will say this about Anthony Davis. They're not winning the fucking championship unless he actually plays the way he needs to play. Because I'm not trying to overreact about game 2 of 82. But if you look at the Western Conference, they beat the Suns last night with just KD out there by himself. Like there was no Bradley Beal, there was no Devin Booker, and they should have won. They should have kicked their ass. And not only did they only win by a couple, they had to come back from like 15 down. So if they want to win a championship, they gonna need Anthony Davis to not be taking games off. And I'm not saying he's just doing a regular season. That's not what we're looking. We need in the playoffs. And I think last year, for the most part, Anthony Davis had a good postseason. The Nuggets series, I thought AD played well. He just ran up into a brick wall, which just happens to be Nikola Jokic. You can't do nothing about that. But what you can do is shut the fuck up and not be talking shit, and then you get embarrassed on ring night to a nigga who's been arm wrestling cows all summer. Like that's just some shit that I don't want to see from Anthony Davis, man. We're gonna real quick, and we're gonna get Pavy out of here. What's your thoughts on James Harden, man? And we can, if there's anything else you said about James Harden,
76ers need to cut their losses, trade the man, because they still have a good basketball team. Like I think you even saw last night. Granted, it's like one game, but they still have a really good basketball team. You still have the MVP. Now, granted, Joel Embiid may feel like James Harden made him the MVP, but whatever. Regardless, you still have a really good basketball team. You have Tyrese Maxey, who I think could take a step this year. You have Kelly Oubre. You have PJ Tucker. You have Paul Reed. Yes, you have other people. There was a certain shooting guard I'm thinking about. I can't think of his name. But you have a good, solid basketball team, bro. If James Harden is going to be a distraction or he's not going to be, fully invested, he's taking up $40 million of your cap. $40 million is 2 players. Like you can at least get 2 players to come in there and making $20 million who can help your basketball team. Like if he's not going to be invested, you got to go out and get what you can, because again, you still have there's still no reason this Philly team can't win 50 games. Why can't they win 50 games? Why can't they be a 2nd or 3rd seed? They don't have to be bad just because this is like they don't have to be that way. And like I said, you still have a MVP in his prime. You have to do everything to maximize that for you, and also it'd be a good business decision for you to maximize that. So my thing with James Harden is like whatever it is, it feels like, I don't want to say, I don't know the man, I have no idea. It feels like he doesn't want to be there, or it may feel like he has worn out his welcome there. You have to go out and get what you can get, and see if you can move on with the season and at least salvage it, because I think you still have a good basketball team.
Yeah, I agree with that. You gotta get what you can, man. I don't know how much you're gonna get from that nigga. You might get like a 6-piece from Harold, some shit, nigga. I don't know, but that nigga's gotta go. I'm tired of James Harden and this shit. I'm tired of talking about the nigga like just all together. But we're gonna bring Courtney in, and we're gonna start this new segment. We gonna hold on, Pavy, we'll let you leave. Yeah, we gonna give proper send off. But I see Courtney was active in the room, and she's getting ready to cut a legendary promo in just a minute. But we're gonna talk baseball in a minute. But Pav, thank you for joining us. For filling in last minute, because had to reshape this whole show today, man. So I
took a break from my day.
I took a break from my day. I took a break for the dogs.
For all the dogs. For the dogs.
The king of Wally.
Hello, I've never met you. How are you doing?
Hi.
The king of volleys, or the king of Beverly Hills himself.
That's you. You've taken. You
That's
have taken my title. You have
man was
my title. I
here
don't
with
want
it.
no smoke. This shit. Wally's had to come like the photo. It was so crazy.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Wally's had to come like the photo.
You taking my title.
Pav, man, always good to holler at you, brother.
My dog.
All right, man. So we're gonna transition to our next topic. Before we get into it, I forgot to do the announcement at the beginning because it's been a random ass day. But for those of you who missed the reel this morning, starting on Friday, I'm not gonna hold you. It's going to be still free, by the way. Still, first hour will be streaming on Barber's Chair Network and HMB Media. So if you, I don't want y'all to think that I'm going full capitalist and putting everything behind a paywall. No, the entire show is still free. The second hour will not be live streamed. The second hour will be uploaded to the Patreon by itself for the Patreon subscribers, but it will still be chopped up in the segments on the YouTube if you want that. This is order for y'all to support. So if you want to support, you can go to patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. We got the link up here right now. You can see for patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. For everybody, you can go up there and just see all different tiers we've got. And so for the $5, I'm not going to hold you tier, you're going to get all 3 shows. I'm going to be doing a Wednesday show now. Will just be me, and I might have a guest every now and then. Basically going to be midweek, 30 to 45 minutes. The audio version of each show will be available on the Patreon. We'll be doing a special one-on-one series with basically me and people in the media and entertainment industry. I'll be interviewing. So the first one's going to be on Tuesday. I'm going to be having my interview with Jonathan Hood of ESPN 1000. That'll be the first episode that'll drop on the Patreon. And pretty much you guys are going to get on-field interviews, on court interviews from games. I do the Clippers and the Bears. So everything is up right now on the Patreon. So you'll get everything you'll get on there, like in more specific detail that you'll see on there, man. And by the way, if you're already a member of the Patreon, if you're on the Barber's Chair All Access, you're all good to go. You have nothing to worry about. You don't have to spend any more money. So that's just basically what it is. If anybody wants to support, $5, I'm not going to hold you till starting on Monday, man. So, yeah, I am now going to give the floor to Courtney because her team is in the World Series. You're going to game 1, correct?
Gang.
Yeah, you're going to game 1. The floor is yours.
Yeah. So we weren't even supposed to be here. I will be the first one to say that I was one of many doubters, but I get a pass, okay, because I have been watching this team since I was alive, okay, and they have hurt me many times. So sue me for maybe being a little cynical, being a skeptic, okay, about this team. This team swept Tampa. They weren't even supposed to get past Tampa. Everybody just kept talking about their powerful arms. They swept them. Then they got past Baltimore, swept them, took the Houston Astros, the big bad Astros, took them to 7. No, we didn't win a game at home. That's okay, because neither did they. Took them to 7, still won in 7. All right. And, all this talk about, the Rangers had to spend, $500 million. Get your money up, broke boys. Get your money up. Also, couple that with the fact that the Rangers still had a payroll that was $12 billion less than the Astros. So what's the disconnect? Get your money up. Get your money up. I don't know what else to tell you.
Get your bread up.
It feels like the goalposts keep moving for teams every year. You got people saying, the Rangers, they're just going to, if they do win, it doesn't matter because all they did was beat the Diamondbacks. Like the Diamondbacks didn't just beat the NL Central and the NL West champs, right, to get to this spot. Like they didn't just beat the Philadelphia Phillies and not only come back from a 2-0 deficit, they won the last 2 in Citizens Bank Park, which everybody's been hyping up all season. Oh, that's the only place in baseball with home field advantage. Man, fuck out of here. They are really dancing on their own now on the way to Cancun. Au revoir.
1, 2, 3 Cancun. 1, 2, 3 Cancun for them.
That's all I got. That's really all I got right now. Rangers in 5 is me being optimistic. I'm hoping that it's only 5 because my birthday is next Saturday and I don't need game 7 stress on my 29th birthday. So
shout out to I'm gonna do a real zodiac thing. Shout out to all the Scorpios real quick. You know, so listen for all y'all who care about shit like that. Dante's muted. I see Dante was gonna say something.
I said, this nigga, you gotta be kidding me.
Shout out to all them. But yeah, I mean, and let's get into the series. I see a lot of people out there who are not big baseball friends. And I see this in a whole bunch of sports. We've seen this with the NBA Finals. Like, well, I don't want to see the Nuggets and the Heat. There's a lot of people when the Philadelphia Phillies got eliminated, they were like, oh, well, I don't want to watch the Diamondbacks. Do you feel this series is going to be bad for the casual viewer? Do you think this is going to be like some of the lowest ratings we've ever seen for a World Series? Or do you think there's going to shockingly is going to be more actual, participation?
Personally, I think that I don't expect, some record-breaking, earth-shattering. I mean, objectively speaking, the Diamondbacks, it's not a giant market, right? Of course, it's not expected to draw the same kind of ratings as a New York team or a Chicago team. I know Phoenix itself is a big market, but like no one's like, oh, let me go tune into that Diamondbacks-Dodgers game. Like no one has said that since like 2018, maybe, right? So I just think it's unfair to the Diamondbacks, who, like I said, just beat 3 very, very good teams to get here. Don't rook them just because their payroll was under $70 million this year. Some real Moneyball ass baseball, but hey, the format, the playoff format and the postseason format was set up in this way. And if you don't like it, then I don't know what to tell you. Beat them. That's really all it comes down to. Is it good for the casual fan? Why not? Who doesn't love an underdog story?
Yeah, Dante, what you think about that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I know we talk about the casual fan a lot, but I think the Dallas market is big enough to where the ratings will be okay. Still having that one Texas team in there. But and it's one of those things where we talk about this in every sport, where people fall in love too much with narratives and big markets and all that other shit, where you should really just be appreciating the baseball. You have a clash of philosophies here. You have, like you said, one of the lowest payrolls in baseball and then one of the highest payrolls in baseball. You have a team in the Rangers who I think was second overall in home runs. You have a team in the Diamondbacks who led all teams in stolen bases. So, you got a team that's built on speed and defense versus a power team that spent the bread that we always talk about teams doing. And so for me, I'm excited about it. You got, Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, who hasn't been on shit, but we'll talk about that later. But one of the best middle infields in baseball, going to the World Series. And the Rangers are a team that, this is their first time in Courtney, when was the last time they went to the World Series?
2011.
2011. So we always talk.
Don't ask me how I know. Game 6. Yeah, Game 6. David Freese, that walk-off home run in the bottom of and we'll see you tomorrow night is burned in the back of my freaking brain.
That was sick.
I need a palate cleanser. Me and Joe Buck still got me.
Right, because the way he called the home run, that's why he got people.
Correct. To this day, I was 16 and I went to bed and I cried. No joke. Like, that Stewie gift. Oh, guess I should get some sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel I was definitely 22 2000. 2023.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. That was ugly. That was ugly. That was ugly.
I mean, I think with I think that's one thing the playoffs is missing right now is Joe Buck, and his calls make you want to jump off a building. Like everybody talks about Mike Breen's bang, but when Joe Buck does it's going back, gone, and like you think there's hope that the ball might drop. Like that's the kind of thing we've been missing from this postseason.
I don't need that. Actually.
No, that was the first thing I thought about. Gee, when Garcia's home run, like how Joe Buck would have called this? Like,
he'd have went crazy.
Joe is one of those guys, man. Like as much as people hate Joe Buck, but like you gotta admit, bro. I don't get it. And when it comes to baseball, I really don't get it. Like baseball, like the moments that he's called,
he isn't talented. It's just that his voice is etched into my brain permanently because of the times in which he did make these calls that hurt me. David Freese, I'm a Dodgers fan too. Y'all know that. David Freese joined the Dodgers, and it took me like
a long time,
8 months to forgive him.
Yeah, and you know who me and Scott can compare this to, just to get on the same plane as you. With your man holding going to his knee and down. Kevin Harlan, I'll never forgive him for that. Like that's one of those moments when D Rose went down and he didn't do nothing wrong. But you'll never forget that. You'll never forget that moment.
There's a couple calls like you got. We just named Joe Buck. There's Mike Breen. Bang! That bang when Carmelo hit that Easter 3-point. Nigga, my Easter was ruined.
Yeah,
yeah, my Easter was. My grandmother was like, "Why you don't want to eat?" I'm like, "You not to see what Carmelo
I'm not even hungry no more.
Yeah, I'm not hungry no more. I had to see
double
all
bang?
the New Yorkers.
Man.
The double bang. Oh my god. Or it's
honestly,
a very
I
underrated
think that probably ruined me on basketball for a while because I can't take that kind of misery.
Bang! Like no,
a shotgun blast.
No, the Kevin Harlan has an underrated one. We're like, and the lead is double digits. Like that make you really sick too. that one make you sick too.
Let me put this shit on mute, man.
But as far as like the casual thing, to me, I'm gonna say fuck casuals, and I say that with anything, not just with sports. And I'm somebody where if I'm invested in anything, whether it's sports or movie or music, I want to know everything about it. So I don't 100% understand casuals. And let's be real, it's the MLB. Casual people probably weren't gonna watch that goddamn series any motherfucking way. Let's be 100% real about it. They would have probably watched a couple games. Maybe if there was like a game 1, maybe if there was a game 7, they might watch, but I don't think that matters at all right now. I think these are two teams that have two really good stories, two teams who found a way to rebuild to get themselves back up here. I mean, you look at the Arizona Diamondbacks. I didn't expect them to be in. They were just my quote-unquote league pass team that I've been watching because Mikey told us early in the year, you need to check the Diamondbacks out. There's no way I expected them to make it to the actual World Series. This is a team that haven't made a World Series since 2001. We all remember that legendary 2001 World Series between them and the New York Yankees. It was freshly after 9/11. It kind of felt like the Yankees had that mojo going because people forget about that Yankee team. They really slumped their way into that 2001 postseason. 9/11 happened, and it's like they really put the city on their back, and it just didn't matter against the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's the first time ever in my life I've seen Mariano Rivera fold in a clutch situation. And so that, to me, was that's the last time we've seen them. It's been 22 years. Now they're back. You just named everything that happened in 2011 World Series with the Rangers. Now they're back. And the one thing that I do like is, you've got the way that the Diamondbacks have built up, like through the draft, through trades and like that. But you also got the Rangers who have gone out there and they've spent money as well as drafting and made the right trades. So I kind of feel like it's two philosophies going head to head. And if you're a fan of baseball, I think you're going to love this series. Now, I don't really think that I would be worrying about the casuals so much, but that's just me.
Correct. Thank you. I agree.
Let's talk about. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no. I just don't like the narrative that all the Rangers did was spend money to get to where they got. That was some good front officing. 100%.
Something that me and Dante know nothing about as Chicago White Sox.
I'm a Atlanta Braves fan. What are you talking about?
I know all about it. Them niggas went outside too.
Not me.
They lost. But I mean, we talking about front offices. I didn't see the good one, brother.
Okay, that's true. There's no. I'm gonna go even further. There's not one good front office in Chicago. Period.
I agree with that.
I could have drafted Connor Bedard, nigga. It don't take a fucking rocket scientist.
To Sidney Crosby fall in your lap. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, like, come on, dog. The nigga, an agent went to his mama when he was 7 years old. Like, Ray Charles can see that shit. So I'm not giving the Blackhawks anything for that. But let's talk about like X factors coming into this series. Like, what do you think will be like the X factor for both of these teams to actually win this series?
Court, you want to kick it off?
I mean, beyond the pitching, which tonight especially is kind of like a feel it out kind of game for me because Nate Eovaldi is. I'm sorry, Nathan. He doesn't like being called Nate. He is coming off of
Big Nathan.
Yeah, big game Nate, but like he doesn't like being called Nate. He likes to be called Nathan. Anyhow, he is coming off 4 days rest, whereas Zach Gallen did get 5 days rest. And for a guy in Eovaldi who was coming off an injury, it might make a difference. Maybe if like you're a sports bettor and into things like that, all those little subtle nuances that kind of build on top of each other. For someone like this who has kind of been battle tested and battle born through playoffs, I'm a Dodger fan, so I definitely remember the 2018 World Series where that man threw 9 shutout innings of baseball in that 18-inning game, the longest baseball game in World Series history. I remember that, and I know that was a few years ago, but I still think that he's more than capable of delivering in the moment. And would I be shocked if the Rangers dropped this game? Not necessarily, but I think the offense could step up. I think the X factor, though, again, beyond pitching, is the catcher spot for both teams. If you can get Jonah Heim continue to go right now, he's batting 245, 2 home runs, 6 RBI in the postseason. Gabriel Moreno, which I don't know if y'all remember, was acquired by Toronto in that Dalton Varsho trade. Diamondbacks fans, livid. Okay, that's also how they got Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who is also someone to watch in this series. But no, Moreno's batting 279, 3 home runs, 9 RBI, and even Garver, who traditionally is a catcher, right? But he's been in the DH spot because he's, getting a little rusty. He's batting 294, 2 home runs, 11 RBI this postseason. So if you can get those the 2 guys, for me personally, for the Rangers, I preferred if Moreno didn't get going. If you can keep them hot, that's the X factor for me.
Yeah, no, I hear you. For me, like I mentioned him earlier, Marcus Semien. I know it's hard to call a guy, who's that big of a player at X Factor, but he was 1 for 9 against Tampa. He was 3 for 14 against Baltimore, and he was 6 for 29 against the Astros. He hasn't hit a homer, hasn't stolen the base, hasn't been the Marcus Semien we've known him to be. So, if he can break out of this slump, I think that can do a lot for this team, because you see the way the Rangers have been able to win games this year with their this postseason with their offense, and this is without him being the major contributor that we know he is. And on the other side with the D-backs, Christian Walker, their first baseman, he really struggled against the Phillies. He was let me see, what was he?
Not good.
He was 2 for 22. So, he was not good. Didn't hit a homer. He hit a homer against the Dodgers, but that power that he has given to that lineup, we haven't seen it. And so, if he can be that boost with Marte and everybody else in that lineup, Tommy Pham is a really streaky guy, but if Tommy can get hot, he was hitting the ball hard against the Phillies, but he did make a lot of outs. He hit a home run in the game 6. But if he can get hot, I think this is going to be a surprisingly good series. Like we say, sneaky good. This is going to be a series that we look back on and be like, yo, this was some really good baseball that we saw.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that, it's to me, it can go either way. I think this could be a very quick series for the Rangers, and I think this could be something that can get drawn out more, and that's something that the Rangers don't want. My X factor is actually Zach Gallen, because he did not have a good NLCS. The Phillies had their way with him pretty much. And I feel like if he goes out there and pitches like the ace that they need him to be, this can be a long series, because then you can have him go out there and get you like a game 1 and things like that. And so I feel like if he steps up to the plate and does what he needs to do, this will be a very long series, man. So I'm going to go with Zach as, my X factor, man. Let's get into predictions. I know Courtney's actually going to the game. So I wanted, we're going to get up out of here. Courtney, you said you got Rangers in 5, right?
Rangers in 5, baby. But if I'm being a realist and not just a fan,
put on your media hat.
Rangers in 7. It was always Rangers in 7.
Okay.
I'm actually going the other way. I'm going Diamondbacks in 7.
Diamondbacks in 7. Okay.
I'm going D-backs in 7. I think he's really one of those.
Don't you want me to be happy?
Of course. I mean, if you all would get one, I would love it. Like, my team, my other team now, I've denounced all Jerry Reinsdorf armed organizations, but my other team hasn't won one in a while. So it would be nice for the Rangers to get one. But I do think the Diamondbacks, the way they battled back, they limped into the playoffs, but they've been, like you said, they beat 3 really good teams to get here. And I think at the end of the day, with the pitching they have, with the streaky offense, this is going 7, folks. Like, this is going to go 7, and I'm going D-backs in 7.
I am going to go with the Texas Rangers. I'm going with the Rangers in 6. I think that Zach Gallen will bounce back. I think he will be the X factor. Matter of fact, I think the Diamondbacks are going to steal game 1, but I do think that the Rangers will this will be one of those, and I don't even know if it's going to be like a 2-2 type 6-game series. It might be one of those 3-1s, and they just don't clinch in game 5. But I do think this will be a 6-game series, and I think the Texas Rangers will be the World Series champions, and Courtney will celebrate on the show. That is my prediction for what's going to happen with this series.
On here. I don't know what to pray if it happens. I'm just letting you know now.
That's gonna go down.
Yep. That's all I got. Yeah, it's gonna go down.
Well, game 1 kicks off tonight. Courtney's on the way over there, so we're gonna give you can sign off. Let everybody know what you got going on.
I mean, listen, there was a lot of talk this whole season, especially after the All-Star break. A lot of folks were saying, "Damn, Rangers spent all that money. Were so good to start the season. They were supposed to run away with the division, then lost, got swept, or actually nearly swept by the Mariners, messed up the division all over again. Weren't supposed to be Tampa, weren't supposed to be Baltimore, definitely weren't supposed to be Houston. We woke them up, right? Weren't supposed to beat them." And everybody kept saying to me, "Gosh, Courtney, what are you going to do if the Rangers don't do it this year?" I guess we'll never know.
Oh, shotgun beer. Stellar going crazy.
No. Let's go, Rangers. Rangers in 5, baby. Let's go.
Rangers in 5.
Let's go.
We hope that you have a great time at the game tonight. We will holler at you next week. World Series moves fast. Game 2 is tomorrow, so this series will be already in Game 3 by next time we get up on here. So
Monday, I'm trying to go to Arizona.
Monday. See, you trying to try? I feel you. And the White Sox never be in the World Series again, so I'll never have opportunity to do that.
Not in your lifetime.
Yeah, not in my lifetime. I always have
maybe the Nashville White Sox, but not these guys.
The Nashville White Sox. All right, Courtney, we'll holler at you next week.
Peace and blessings. Let's go, Rangers.
So we're going to have my brother Flows join in just a minute. In the meantime, we're going to talk about the legend that is Dusty Baker, who decided to retire this week. Let's talk about like the legacy, of Dusty Baker, man.
Man, bro. I mean, this is literally one of the greatest resumes that we've ever seen. You're talking about a guy who Hank Aaron was his mentor, so he's played against some of the greatest. We know his relationship with Bobby Bonds. He managed Barry Bonds. For years they always said he couldn't win the big one, and for him to finally win the big one last year, I really wanted him to go out last year, to go out on top. I felt like it was one of those moments where that would have been the perfect thing. But I understand, the competitive nature. Having one as a player, one as a manager, now it's like, okay, let's see if I can go get number 2. And unfortunately, he didn't get there, made it to another ALCS. But again, at the end of the day, we're talking about one of the greatest contributors to baseball culture as a whole. And that's, we're fortunate that he is a black man, but that's anybody that's ever, stepped in between those lines. There's not too many that are better than Dusty Baker, man. We got to witness him in Chicago. That's one of the few times where I actually was tuned in to the Cubs when he was the manager. The things he did with Sammy, he overcame everything they always said about him. He can't run a bullpen, can't do this, can't do that. Dusty makes bad decisions. It was ironic he lost the Game 7 on the way out. Like that was kind of a, chef's kiss on things. But overall, it's nothing but love for Dusty. And, we were fortunate to, say we saw Dusty Baker.
Yeah, man, I got to give it up to Dusty. I always felt like Dusty got the wrong end of the stick here in Chicago because of how everything ended. Stuff that wasn't completely, in his control, man. But I'm glad that he was able to get a championship before he got up out of here. I think that was a big, mark on his career is can Dusty win the whole thing. And so to be able to come into a team that was already established, a team that was going through a lot of turmoil with the cheating things going on. And I wouldn't say he cleaned the image up or anything. There's still a lot of people who still don't like the fucking Astros, and people still have that negative light on them. But it kind of gave them a little bit more respect back because of how Dusty carries himself. And like you said, this is a guy who he's a legend. He's been around for a long, long time, man. So I feel like salute to Dusty. He went out there and won what he needed to do, took care of what he needed to do. Like you said, he's been in the game. And I love to see black managers at that get the love that they're supposed to get, man. So we're going to move on to the second hour here. We're going to get this artwork flash real quick before we bring in. There we go. I'm not going to hold you. The second hour, we'll be talking Chicago sports here in a minute, but we're also going to start off.
Here comes the bullshit.
Here comes the bullshit. But we're going to bring in one of the co-founders of this company. He is also co-host of 79th and Howlers. My brother Flo. How's it going?
What's going on, niggas?
Another terrible day to be a Chicago sports fan. What can we say? We live.
What's so terrible about today? You all going with the Bulls or something?
No, I mean we're gonna
get into that. Players only meetings after game one. What can we say about that?
Well, basketball is not a man sport, and the Bulls suck. So that's how I deal with that.
And Joe's already hating on Wemby. It ain't even been 2 games yet. He's yelling.
The nigga does the slowest crossovers, and it's like this nigga a Korean player. I'm like, I seen y'all cross a nigga at half court on the fast break, bro. I'm not impressed.
You yelling about his rebounds too. He only what do you have 5 rebounds on game 1?
Somebody told me this is today's NBA and rebounds don't matter. I was like, it only doesn't matter until you get to the playoffs and you realize, damn, we need to get some more boards. And then a nigga who only giving you 4 boards at 720 can't do anything more than that. Like that, it becomes a problem when it's game time and real niggas got to be real niggas and real men got to be real men. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like the most elite big men in the league, the Giannis, the Jokic, the Embiid, them niggas all get 10 boards plus a game. Like it ain't nothing for Jokic to get 16. So you should be 7-6 and not getting at least 8. Give me 8.
But I think that the reason he didn't have any in game 1 was he was in foul trouble and he defends a lot on the perimeter. So like a lot of times he may not be in a position. So like
his
going forward, I think he definitely can give you that though. But like game 1, 5 fouls, he was cooked.
His willingness to defend. I love the fact that he is willing to defend and he doesn't just do I'm just gonna hang out and not play defense. Like I respect that. But no, that's not real men basketball. I see all Ortiz in the comments, and he was one of the niggas who was saying, "What happened to the sport I love?" That's just how I feel.
Yeah, Ola Ortiz, man, we was eating him last week on the show, but he's back watching us. But let's get into football, man. This is week 8 in the NFL. We're basically at the halfway mark of the season. Before we get into our top 5 must-watch games of the week, what's your thoughts on the season so far? Now we're basically halfway into this thing.
Ass. God, it's been a 3-pack of ass. It's not. We've seen some terrible quarterback play. We have seen some very, very mid offensive line play, and I'm not really sure what is the reason behind this. I had sent a tweet out saying what's going on with the quarterback play, and Duke has had me Twitter. I don't know. It was Duke Zamunda Duke. I don't know what his Twitter name is right now. But he was like, oh, we're going through a transition period where we're going from where the greats are retired. So, I think the last one of you probably have was Aaron Rodgers. So, like, you're trying to see the young ones step up besides Mahomes. And that period it's going to be like that. It may be like that. But what I can say is the vast majority of quarterbacks, if not all of them, have been underwhelming. Pat has started to really, really heat up. But even his first 3 games, I was like, this sucks. So I'm not happy with what I've seen from the NFL, and it's not necessarily that the defense is getting better, so it's the reason why it's like that. I just think it's been some inept play calling. It's been some really a lack of diversifying your playbook and adapting, and that's annoying. But it's not like it hasn't happened before. I just think we're coming off of maybe 2 or 3 offensively explosive seasons. And now you're easing back into it. Like you do have a 70-20 game from Miami in Denver, which is great. But I'm seeing a lot of like 2002 ass scores, and that's kind of lame. But yeah, so far, mid.
Yeah, I actually agree. I was gonna say I agree with that. Like to me, it's like offensive coordinators this year are way more in their head than they've been in past years. I do think that the way that we handle preseason needs to be changed. I think that these players need to actually play. I think there needs to be more of an emphasis on it, and maybe that'll help the first month from being like basically glorified preseason as it is. But it has been a lot of nasty football. It's been a lot of nasty football. Last night's Thursday night football game, I did not get an opportunity to watch, but going back and looking at the highlights, it just looked like the same old thing we've been seeing, where it's like Josh Allen basically just going out there and playing street ball damn near. It was really no execution or anything like that. And so like, even when you name like the Chiefs, like at this point, I feel like we're just naming the Chiefs the best team in football just by default, just because of who they are and just because they won a championship last year. But it's very bad football right now, and I don't really know who's good. We know who's bad. We definitely know who's bad, but I don't really know 100% if there's any team right now who's really even standing out like that, man. Dante, go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, no, I was going to agree with the quarterback comment, and it's with the play callers as well. I feel like we haven't had another Kyle Shanahan. We've had a search for that guy. We've had a lot of people be anointed the next big thing, and then they get into these spots and they fail. Matt Nagy failed. Everybody attached to Aaron Rodgers has. Yeah, Kellen Moore looks extremely sus now. So we're still just the same way you say we're looking for these quarterbacks. It's like, well, that next great play caller, Eric Bieniemy, the jury's still out on him. We don't know what he's going to do. So it's just a matter of, like you said, those offenses adjusting and defenses adjusting. As I said last week when we talked about, cornerbacks being built different now, and just defenses being able to adjust and sit around and do the things that they weren't able to do when it was just more of a shell shock reaction to these crazy offenses. So I think that the word transition is a very, very good word to use here because, like you said, we're still waiting for those quarterbacks to step up and to see who's going to be those guys. Because, when we really look at it, we had some guys that we watched for a minute really, really dominate the league.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. One is true. Yeah, we're literally leaving the air. I mean, Tom Brady was just playing last year before?
Yeah, last year.
Which is just crazy. I was 10 when he was in the league, and he's gone. And I think the only person that's a vestige of his era or that era is Aaron Rodgers. But I do think what we're seeing right now is a renaissance in the cornerback position.
Yeah,
that we're seeing a renaissance in the cornerback position. We already had a linebacker renaissance. I think that started with Patrick Willis eons ago, and then you just started to see linebackers get faster, get stronger. The defensive line renaissance has been on for a minute. I mean, defensive linemen ran like a 4.4, something crazy. But the really big thing that we're seeing now is the cornerbacks. Because let's be honest, if you've played football before, you know that a cornerback in high school is somebody who couldn't make a receiver because they had no hands. But they end up becoming good at quarterback because they're still fast and they can still run the routes with the receivers. But now you're seeing cornerbacks be spotted early within this period of trying to find talent. And then from there, they're developing their closing the gap speed. They're developing how they can use their hands and making sure they're not being too handsy. I've seen so many passes where I'm like, it's not a flag? And the corner is not holding it all. The corner is just staying really toe for toe with the receiver and making some good moves. So I think we're seeing the cornerback renaissance. And with that happening, it is making it harder for quarterbacks to adjust to that because these corners are just really neck and neck. And it's really good. I think the only thing that sucks is Christian Gonzalez, who I thought was off to a really strong start, got injured and he's out. But there's so many names now within the cornerback position that are not just jump ball cornerbacks, because that's kind of what I think me and Scott grew up with. Jump ball cornerbacks, they're going to jump a route, and when they jump the route, they're going to go ahead and try to get that pick six. So I think that's the big thing that may be contributing to why offenses are kind of struggling to keep up. But that's just my opinion.
I agree with that, man. Let's get into the top 5 games to watch this week. Shout out to Mikey for the new segment idea. We're gonna start off with my sleeper game of the week. This was sneaky good game of the week. This was Ravens and Cardinals. Now, when I put this on here, I saw Kyler Murray had been practicing. He practiced 2-3 times this week, but now they're listing him as doubtful for this Sunday. But I still think this will be a sneaky good game because this could be a trap game for the Ravens. Ravens coming off such a big win last week over the Detroit Lions, blowing them out the water. And you go to Arizona, you might get caught up by Josh Dobbs and how that team's been playing as hard as they've been playing. So that's my sneaky good game of the year. And I do believe that game of the week. And I do believe that Kyler Murray is probably just being eased into it, and he'll probably be back next week. What do you guys think about this game?
Ravens by 14.
I'm probably going Ravens by 21.
Yeah.
Oh, both of y'all got blowouts.
I mean, what I've seen from the Cardinals, they play really hard in the first half. They get a nice drive, and then they kind of just fizzle out from there. Lamar Jackson looks like he's in his zone again, so yeah, I'm not expecting a close game.
I think this might be fake close. I think it might be fake close. I'm still gonna go Ravens. But I think it's probably gonna be. I think it's gonna be like a 7-point game. I think it's gonna be a 7-point game because I have yet to see that consistency from Baltimore for me to just say that they're just gonna flat out beat their ass.
Black QB. I should have known.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Anti-Negro.
My number 4 must-watch game is actually shockingly, I have Bears and Chargers. Now we're gonna get into this game in the second half of the hour. Look. This is why I think this is a must-watch game. Now, granted, there's a lot of ass games on the schedule this week. So I was really picking out the garbage this week. But why I think this is gonna be an actual competitive game is because the Chargers should be better than what they are. I think we say this every year. And I think just off the fact that they can't ever just take off, that this is a game that can be competitive. Now, granted, if there's any team that's the get right game, it is the Chicago Bears. And we'll get into more of a full breakdown of that game later in this show. But I do think this game is going to be closer than a lot of people are going to expect it to be.
You say Kellen Moore. Get ready to call the game of your life, boy. Yeah. And I don't remember the Bears defense has been playing better on a more serious note. You know, the linebackers have been playing better. But, however, traveling out west, week 2.
We ain't got to give scores yet. We'll do that later in the hour. But
we ain't gonna do that. But no, this will not be a sneaky good anything, brother. This will not be a game worth watching. I think it's one of those games you're gonna be there, so you have no choice.
Yeah, I'll be there.
By halftime, I will be asleep. I guarantee that.
Yeah, you'll be on East Coast time. I definitely see why you would be asleep. Joe, we're gonna do like a more of a preview on it. But what's like just your initial thoughts on this game?
They're gonna blow the Bears out. I don't think more than the fact that they're gonna blow the Bears out, and it's not gonna be particularly close.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I think it's gonna be bad.
And it's like you said, the Chargers are better than what their record says, which I hate the Justin Herbert slander. I'm like, it don't matter how good you are of a quarterback. Remember, this thing came in the league throwing 30 touchdowns. It's ridiculous. Yeah. There hasn't been a rookie been on fire like that as a quarterback in a long time. Pat Mahomes didn't play his rookie year. Aaron Rodgers sat for like 20 years. I've never seen a rookie as good as him when he was playing quarterback. That being said, I truly think that they are a better offensive team when they're just playing, kind of street ball, and they're just playing, play football. I was talking to my homie Steve, who's been on 7 at the Hottest thousands of times, but he was saying, man, what the NFL needs is just dudes who play football. And that sounds like insane when you think about it. Statement. But it's such a football nigga statement because there are a lot of athletes in the NFL, but there ain't many football players. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, this may be a situation where you had to have played football to understand the language I'm using, but you gotta be a football guy. You gotta just know when the rock's in my hand, it's time to go to work. And I don't think there's many of that left in the league, but I do think Justin Herbert is just one of those it's time to play football guys. And I think when he gets in that mode, he's unstoppable, and they're gonna nuke the Bears. So unless Tyler Badgett turns out to be Brock Purdy too, which I doubt.
Which we'll talk about that in about 15 minutes.
Tyson, whatever his name is. Tyson Tyler.
Tyson Badgett.
Tyson.
A Badgett of change. As Chicago Badgett, whatever you pronounce that nigga name. Anyway, the next game I got on the top 5.
Guzzling him at that press conference, brother. Gonna be some nasty work. Finna be ashamed. Nigga was sitting like. Okay,
so Rams at Cowboys. Now, like I said, there's a lot of slim pickings on this list this week. There's a lot of nasty
games
this weekend. But this one to me is interesting because the Rams have been competitive in every game that they've had this year. I think that Matthew Stafford is kind of going back into Detroit mode. Basically, I'm being surrounded by shit, and I'm just going to go out here and put points up with Cooper Kupp and Samoan Cooper Kupp. And by the way, I don't know if Puka Nacua is actually Samoan, but I'm just going to call him Samoan Cooper Kupp. So I feel like they'll be able to put up some points, and Dallas is too inconsistent. So I feel like just off that, it'll be a game. And if the way the Rams lost last week to the fucking Steelers and Kenny Pickett didn't even throw a fucking touchdown, you got to feel like they're going to come back and at least want to get some revenge. And the way the Cowboys play, you never know which team you're going to get. So that's why I've got that as my number 3 game. What do y'all think about that?
I'm not a big fan of Officer Prescott. We know we talk about this weekly. I do think the Cowboys will win this game, but I think, like to your point, the Rams have been competitive. But overall, I'm not too hyped for this one. Like it's a lot of stinkers this week.
A lot of bad football.
First, we need to look up if Puka Nacua is actually Samoan or just another specific Islander group. I don't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
Unlike this nigga. Samoan, Hawaiian, Portuguese.
Okay. See, I was right.
Close.
I was 25% right.
But
This nigga.
Dallas and LA. First of all, I don't think he's surrounded by trash. I just think he got two receivers who are the same in what you call it, Cooper and Nakua. So you don't have a true deep threat. You don't have a true jump ball threat. You got possession receivers. There's only so much you can do with that, brother. Just only so much. You need diversity. It's not like someone like DJ Moore, who is a possession receiver who also can burn you over top. Go up and get it might not be DJ's ultimate strength, but he can do it. And even if you look at it, even as someone like Dallas has someone like CeeDee Lamb who can possession receive and can go over top of you, where Stafford just has the possession only. I need to catch you on a drag route. I need to catch you on a dig and make some moves. So I think that's his biggest struggle. But these games just kind of suck this week.
Yeah, they all suck. Like out of my 5, only number 1 is actually going to be a good game. But number 2 is Patriots.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I want to hear.
I was saying number 2, I had Patriots at Dolphins. And this is the reason. Hold on. I can tell you, Slim Pickens. Okay. But the reason I said that is because of it's a division game. Okay. It's a division game, number 1. Okay. I feel like Bill Belichick, they're coming off a win off the Bills, as smelly as that game was. But the story here to me is why it's must watch. Jalen Ramsey probably going to be returning on Sunday. Now, I know Adam Schefter put that out yesterday, and Jalen Ramsey said that was cap. I think Jalen Ramsey pulled one of those, I don't want this nigga breaking my news type things. And then all of a sudden we going to watch Tom Pelissero come on game day on Sunday like, yeah, Jalen Ramsey's warming up. So I don't think he wanted that news to get out there, but I do expect Jalen Ramsey to play, which is going to help their defense. But I think just off the fact that it's a rivalry game, just off the fact that the Patriots are coming off a win and the Dolphins are coming off a loss to Philadelphia, that this will be something about it to watch. But that's personally all I got. I actually think the Dolphins are going to whoop their ass. But this is off the games of shit that was in front of me that I picked for number 2.
Dolphins by 17.
Dolphins by 25. I don't even know how you get to 25, nigga. It's going to happen. It's going to be a safety up in there somewhere.
Going to be a safety somewhere.
After seeing Mac Jones do the worst gritty of all time, I'm not expecting anything good. It's going to be
very racist gritty. A very racist gritty.
It's a Bull Connor gritty.
A Bull Connor gritty. The number 1 game is actually a good game. It is actually the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy.
No Minnesota and Green Bay?
No, man. You know it's going to be a shit bowl, man.
It's division. They always have good games.
I think the Vikings going to beat the shit out the Packers.
Now, I will say I think the Vikings have shaking off the cobwebs, but they pretty much have always had good games. I'm literally looking at Football Database, and last game, the game before, damn, never mind, I may be wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
So the last game before, did they play this year yet?
No, they have not played.
Yeah.
Last year was 41-17. Before that was 23-7, 37-10, 34-31, 20. Okay, so now we're getting into the close game. It just seems like the last 3 were just kind of just
they've been beating their ass, yeah. And that was with Aaron Rodgers. And so what do you think they're gonna do to Jordan Love weak ass? Like
Jordan Love being huff.
The Vikings just beat the Niners. Kirk Cousins feeling good. Jordan Addison's looking like a guy. I don't think that's gonna be a game at all.
We knew Jordan Addison was gonna be a guy. But
yeah, we all knew that 100%. But Niners, Bengals, like Brock Purdy. This is the weird thing about the NFL concussions. This nigga was in concussion protocol all week, but now all of a sudden he's practicing today, and now he's listed as questionable for Sunday, but they think he's gonna play. What do y'all think about this game? The Bengals, they're trying to, get back 100% to how they used to be. What do you think about this game? Where you leaning?
I think this was actually a really good game. I think the reports were that Joe Burrow was taking more snaps under center, so maybe that calf is feeling a lot better this week. So he can start looking more like old Joe. The Niners, Christian McCaffrey, he's gonna go. With the concussion thing, I think this is further proof that NFL players are insane. Like Sidney Crosby got a concussion and set out for a fucking year. Justin Murneau got a concussion and his baseball career was essentially over. So like when these guys get their heads banged around and then come fucking play the next week, and like it's kind of insane, G. Like
I wonder if it's like a desensitization thing because it just kind of you're used to already hitting so hard. You're used to like hockey is full of upper chest hits, especially like when you're checking a person who's coming towards you like that. It's full of that, but I don't see like I'll hit you with the crown of my itty bitty hockey helmet. Like it doesn't happen as often. Whereas when I was in high school, I mean, even when I got snapped off the ball as a lineman, I immediately hit the dude in the head like with my helmet.
Yeah,
so I had to have like a big, a ringer as we call it. I wouldn't be surprised if it was CTE in me when they find out when I'm dead. But when I had to have like a crazy ringer. I had to like a crazy ringer for me to say, "Ooh, I got to get out, coach." Because Timmy's just okay. Let's go. Like
G. I was gonna say my cousin he played linebacker and he played fullback and he told me he said he would hit somebody and then he would have plays where when they called the play like shit was blurry, he just knew to hit the motherfucker in a different color jersey. Like that's just, but like you said, being football players, y'all just go.
What's better than that? Guys being dudes. There's nothing more guys being dudes. Like when I tell women like men are simple and stupid creatures. Now you're complicated. I'm like, we would do something like that. Like, oh, I can't see nothing. I got you. Like it's stupid. It goes against common sense for you to think, okay, I don't know what's in front of me, but I can see a blob enough. I'm gonna hit it. Like it's stupid. But that's the way men are. That's what we are. What you call it? So I play if you had the coach music, I say play it right now.
Yeah,
I'm going back to Curie stories.
Go back to Curie.
Also, shout out to Curie. Forget G Herbo at Homecoming. I'm sorry, Scott. I'm still blown by this. They got freaking artists coming to Homecoming. We didn't get that. Anyway,
no, we didn't.
When I was a kid,
and it was at a club. We had that in that dusty ass gym.
Are you kidding me? But we played a school called Steinmetz, which I don't think Steinmetz on the north side. I don't know. And this one dude, hey, he pulled off a mean swim move on me. Like for a clean sack against our quarterback. I was like, whoo, that was bad. In the game, we shaking hands. He's like, you're going to be in my highlight tape. I didn't see that team Steinmetz again until the next year. And that next year, I said, I'm going to put this nigga on the highlight reel. Like, I'm going to destroy him. That's all I thought about for a year because he just got one playoff on me. The next year we played them, we did a freaking jet sweep. I cracked back block him, knocked his pads off him, and I concussed myself. But on the sideline, all I could think was, yeah, bitch, I told you I'd get you back. Like, it's insane. It's a wild concuss. Thankfully, we had a bye week, and hopefully I don't got permanent brain damage. But football is not a safe sport. It never will be. But yeah, it's guys being dudes. You gotta let men have this. You know what I'm saying?
I'm definitely using this as next week's reel, by the way, and I'm adding the coach music on the 100%, putting the coach music on there. But I mean, for this game for me, man, I think that this is the game the Bengals are gonna win because even if Brock Purdy does play, I don't know how he's gonna play. It's not like he's been playing well these last couple weeks anyway. Like he's kind of really reverted back. Wait, what do you mean? Hold on, has he been playing well? He played like shit on Monday.
He had a terrible last game, but get off my man Brock Purdy.
He didn't play well in Cleveland either.
People want Brock Purdy to be trash because I think they don't want to realize the fact that he's what you call it? He's Mr. Irrelevant turned into a success.
Yeah.
He has had the game before last against the Broncos was bad. That was a bad game.
Yeah.
It was 0-3. It was terrible. Last game was fine. It was nothing crazy, but it was fine. Week before that,
I think he threw like 2 picks against the Vikings.
One. The last game was what you call it?
It was Vikings.
Yeah.
It was on Monday Night Football. Yeah, it was Monday Night Football.
Oh,
that route was shaky though, but I feel you.
Like it was I knew it was something about that. It was. I don't know. Did he stop in his route? I don't know.
No, I didn't. He threw 2 picks on Monday. One was a route. The second one was all Purdy. The second was all. It was a nasty pick. The game-ending pick.
Okay, that was bad. That
shit was nasty.
The one before that was
he
bad.
He didn't play well against Cleveland either. Them 2 games. And I'm not saying I'm awful on Purdy.
I will say bad. The game plan with Cleveland was a little weird. There's a lot. He did majority running. Game before that, he's coming off of 4 touchdowns. He was been fine. This is literally these past 2 games are his only interceptions. But I think the only really, really bad play was that game ended when I was like, that was bad. He was trying to make a play, and he didn't account for the linebacker. Was the linebacker, I think, or was safety being right there? But he's had a great season. He would, if I'm looking at who I think has the best numbers so far in the last, how many weeks is this? Is it 8?
Well, it's the 8th week coming up. This week is week 8.
8th week. So they've played 7 games. I think he's been the best quarterback of the season so far. Of course, he ain't gonna win MVP, but
the bar is in hell right now. But
yeah,
I mean, I agree with that. I mean, what I'm saying is like this week, I want to see him bounce back after the 2 rough games he had, and I think I'm gonna go. Actually, I'm gonna pick the Niners. I think the Niners gonna win in a very close game, just because I believe that their defense can make more plays than the Bengals defense can do, and I think there's gonna be a difference in between this. How do y'all see this game going?
This is gonna be a good game. This is gonna be a really good game. I think I'm gonna go Niners by a field goal. I think it's gonna be a close game.
Is this a 12:00 game? Is that the Bears Sunday night?
Yeah, the Bears are Sunday nights.
The Bears are Sunday night, unfortunately, brother.
Yeah,
the Bears are Sunday nights. This is I'm looking at it right now. This is
America. Go be with your family. Don't watch that shit.
This is a 125 game. And so 425 for East Coast, so it's like in a late window, right before Sunday Night Football. Yeah,
that's midday game. Okay, yeah.
I got the Niners. I still got the Niners winning.
I think it's in the Bay Area. Yeah, it's in the Bay Area. So, we're gonna move on and talk about, unfortunately, the Chicago Bears, which is a team that me and my brother cover, a team that Dante is disgusted by. As you can see, this look on his face right now. Justin,
a whole lot of solo shots.
Justin Fields has been officially listed out this Sunday. Tom Pelissero said this week that Justin is aiming to come back against the New Orleans Saints next Sunday. Now, I haven't heard that. My brother hasn't heard that. This is from National, so they could be right. They could be wrong. We have heard nothing of that sort. I still am going to stay on my prediction that he doesn't play to the Carolina game, because I just don't see a reason for him to play 2 games in 5 days with such a short week, with Thursday Night Football being there, so especially against a good defense and the Saints. I don't think they should throw him out there against a good defense, and he's still having trouble palming the ball. Just let him rest these next 2 games, bring him back Thursday Night Football. Then that gives him an additional 10 days to rest. Joe, you have that look on your face. What do you?
I just look at the SAG after has reportedly reached a deal.
Think it's about fucking time. It's about fucking time. But you know why they did that though? Because the studio said yesterday they didn't agree this, and next week they were shutting down negotiations till February.
So you think the writers bent the knee?
No, the writers.
The actors bent the knee. I
won't say that. Man, obviously, it had to be a good deal, but I definitely think it was some pressure, because I felt, and this is how you know you're on Barbershop Network, because we get off topic. But I did feel that because with everything from when I used to work at Amazon, is how they shut stuff down after Thanksgiving. So there's gonna be no people ain't even gonna be in the office. So you got the holidays coming up. Yeah, you got the holidays coming up. Shit already tight.
It's gonna be a rough winter.
Right, exactly. So I'm glad they agreed to that. So once I heard that yesterday, I knew there was probably going to be a deal come down in a couple of days. But
like before they started the strike, they should have put it give us like a 5-month contract. We're gonna come back after February, because this is a rough time to go on strike.
Yeah. So, but that's good. Shout out to them. But Joe, what do you think about the update from about Justin Fields and with his whole progression?
Yeah, it's like we know the Bears don't share. Period. The Bears don't share without people that have an established relationship with them. There are plenty of people who have been there longer than me on the beat. They don't get any scoops. It's just the way the Bears are. The Bears aren't open like that. National, who knows? They of course have bigger teams behind them, and so they have more access. But I would feel it's in Justin's best interest to not play a game when you have one on Thursday. I'm not even sure come back and playing. I don't even think playing Thursday is even the best move. I feel like it probably might be better for the team for Tyson to continue those 2 games, since it's in such a small window. But I know Justin, that clock's moving, and you need to put on a show to prove you can stay there or prove yourself for the next team. So they're in a tough window. But for Justin, I can see why they believe it would be next week. for him to return. And if he feels good, do it. You know, grip strength is interesting because when you're a defensive lineman, you can play with a big old bull in your hand, but if you can't grip that leather football hard enough, it won't matter at all. So I'm kind of tossing back and forth as to whether they should put him in the next game against the New Orleans when you have so many close games coming back to back. And when is the bye week?
The bye week is the week of December 3rd. So
like it's eons away. So I want him to do what's in his best interest, and that's both getting healthy, but that's also getting your ass on that field. So he's in a tough position.
Dante, what you think about Justin? Like we think it's a reasonable time for him to come back.
I think I said be super cautious. I think after the bye, I think giving him the 10 days. So
the bye is in December.
Oh no, I'm sorry, not after the bye. I think
after the mini bye,
the mini bye, the little built-in bye, because I think, as you said, you know, if he can't grip the football, then it's gonna do nothing but make him look worse out there, and that's the last thing we need. Because fumbling has already been an issue for him, so I need that hand 100% before he goes back out there. And I mean, at this point, we already know this year they aren't winning anything, even though we did get ambitious. We're talking about wild card, the 9 games, and all of that. But at this point, with them trying to really properly, at least in our opinion, hopefully trying to properly assess what you have with Justin, don't put him back out there until he's officially 100%. So if there's any soreness, any lingering soreness, anything like that, I think just play it safe. And then I think that he shouldn't come back until after the mini bye. That's just me. That's just probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of y'all. I think the thing with Justin, I know he's got to be eager to get out there, because not that he should be worried about Tyson Bagent or whatever, anything like that, but I do feel like he knows, if we can see it, and we fans, media can see what's going on, that, you know, he's only got a couple more games in the Bears uniform. Maybe he wants to go out there and put on a good job, not just, you know, either want to convince the Bears to keep him, or if he goes to another team to make his next team look like, yo, I can still do these things. And taking away like the ridiculous coverage around Bagent, if Bagent is continuing to playing well and being the good backup quarterback you need him to be, and you know the Bears are trying to win games, there's no point of rushing Justin out there. There's no point of rushing Justin out there against a really good defense in New Orleans. And Joe, you bring up a good point. If you don't want to play him on a short week on that Thursday and just give him the full extra 10 days, I'm with that as well. I think the thing for anything is if you're Justin, as much as you want to play, you want to be right out there too. You don't want anybody to be blaming you for how you're playing when you're not I'm not going to say 100%. Nobody's 100%. But if you're not at least physically able to play, you want to be judged on your best medical condition as you can throughout the entire season. So I think if Bagent continues to play as well as he needs to play, there's no point in rushing the kid, man. We still got a lot more football left to be able to see what you want from Justin, if they're truly even looking for that. I don't know. They might be hell bent on not keeping him. I know Caleb Williams was at the damn Lakers game last night. Didn't like he gives a shit about what's going on with USC and they little slump right now. But I understand why Justin want to go out there. I just feel like it's in his best interest and the Bears' best interest to just wait until that, number one, you can actually palm the football, and two, till he can actually go out there and perform the best way he needs to. Now, I know that both of you guys said that you have the Bears losing this in a blowout, but I'm going to play devil's advocate real quick. Let's just say the Bears do find a way to win on Sunday. Do you think a win here changes the season? What I mean by changes the season, not as in they're going to make the playoffs or thing like that, but this will be their third win. This will be, they're already with tie last year's wins. And with at least, 8 more games left after this, what do you think where would this take this trajectory, especially if Bagent does play well?
Bagent, and nowhere is where it will take it. Nowhere. You're gonna be 3-5 after this. Like, you have to play, if you want to even be considered to have a resurgence of the season, you got to win the next 3 games. So you have to get to 3-5. You got to get to 6-5. So you got to win 4 games, actually 5 games in a row. It's not gonna happen. That's too much of an uphill climb, and it's just not gonna happen. So I don't think this win changes anything until you get 4 more wins after that. 4 more wins after, then I say, Bears can shake something. But as of right now, the win does nothing but maybe give you confidence. And then on top of that, I don't want them to win. I don't want them to win. Not because I want to see the Bears lose. I hate seeing the Bears lose. but you see how incompetent this staff is. They don't need another chance. And unfortunately, bad staffs can be elevated by the play and the consistency of the players. It's clear that this group is good with each other, friendly with each other, and have a chemistry with each other. But they could have done so much better if the coaches, the staff behind them did better, and they don't prepare them well enough. So no, I don't want to see them crash and burn, but I'm also sitting like at a rock and a hard place because I'm like this staff needs to go.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I think I do want to see them crash and burn. I want the absolute worst. I think whatever can possibly go wrong, I want it to go wrong because I think it's going to take something that dramatic for them to absolutely clean house. And it's unfortunate, but I think Justin is going to be a casualty of that. Like in a perfect world, he would have showed us a lot. You know, we still get that Carolina pick to be high. We not that good. And we flipped that for King's ransom to really, build this franchise, build this roster out for years with a lot of young, cheap talent. But at this point, I do think, like Scott has said for weeks now, like if they can get their hands on Caleb Williams, that's definitely the route they're going to go. So I think I don't want this staff to luck up and win 6 or 7 games, and because then that'll give them a case for staying. And we know how, okay, this franchise front office is with mediocrity as long as those tickets are selling. So I think we need the absolute worst staff, but I need Bates to go out there and fumble the ball twice and throw 3 picks. Like I need a complete shit show. Like I don't think a win changes anything either way, but I'm not rooting for success.
It's funny though because I believe Bears fans know deep in their hearts what's actually going on in the delusional fan base, so the delusional mindset that they have. When I was heading into Soldier Field, I'm getting to the elevators, and the press elevator and the club suites are all in the same area. So the folks who got money, be heading up those elevators, and we get in there. It's me and a couple journalists, and the majority of folks are heading to the suites. And one fan is like, "You're about to see something special, Tyson Bagent. It's going to be crazy." And the Bears fan in front of him was like, "I feel something special happen. I absolutely do." Yeah, man, the Bears are snake oil salesman, and I fall for anything they have, so don't listen to what I have to say. And I was like, I'm laughing right now.
I'm glad he admitted that last part.
I was like, it's so true. What is it about the Bears that has enticed fans for so long into giving them second chances? Like the Bulls have a lot of good history with me because I saw them win 6 titles. But all that good history that we have, it's gone. I don't care anymore. I don't want. I actively avoid the Bulls. So I'm like, all the Bulls. I'm like, I don't care. People put it on. I'm like, turn this off. I don't want to see that. I don't care about them. I literally don't. That being said, do I want them to win? Of course I do. But that goodwill that they bought, I don't care no more. You got to show me that you can run a team successfully. Whereas the Bears, it's like next year though. Like it's insane. It's insanity. But that's why it has to crash and burn consistently until it's built up again. The Lions had to crash, burn.
So many damn times
to get to them be saying, wow, it's a good team. But even then, they still got kinks to work out. And it had to happen with almost every team until you figure out, okay, I can build myself a successful franchise. The Bears have a lot of goodwill with fans for 85 when most young fans were not alive.
Yeah, or if you were alive, nobody on the show is alive.
Or if you were alive, you were an infant.
Yeah,
I can talk to our folks about, oh man, 85. Oh, 85. Like they know 85 vividly. That's why when the Bears lose, they go, they move on. I want that. So I don't know how to have goodwill with us.
I mean, for me, I agree with what y'all saying 100%. I'm also just part of it is delusion because it's like I'm just tired of thinking about draft picks. Like I'm tired of it. Like I'm not saying that a win changes anything, but I'm also tired of rooting for my team to lose fucking games. Like I feel like I've been doing that for like 3 goddamn seasons now, and I've had it up to here. But y'all bring up a very important point. It's something why it's like I feel like I'm being forced to go to root for them to lose again because we can't have Matt Eberflus, Luke Getsy, and any of these motherfuckers back again because they ain't got nothing to do with Justin. You're gonna get rid of Justin regardless. You bring Caleb Williams in here, we don't need Caleb Williams be in any room with Luke Getsy. We need them niggas far away from each other as humanly possible if that is the route you decide to go in.
And isn't it depressing? You get Caleb Williams next year, you got to wait 2 more years before it's a success again.
Or 3, maybe.
Or 3. I'm third. I turned. How old do I turn this year? 33?
You'll be 33, nigga.
I turned 33 this year. So 3 more. I'll be 36, almost 37. I'm tired of that, bro. But that's why I want Justin to be a success, not because he's a Buckeye, and so he always has goodwill with me. But I'm tired. I don't want to go through this anymore. It's not like with Mitchell. I'm like, nothing's there. There's nothing there. There's nothing in that football mind of his. Whereas Justin, I'm like, Justin's a baller. He's just not a football guy. He's not a football guy. He's an incredible athlete, but he don't know how to go out there and play football often enough. But I want him to find that zone because I don't want to go through this again. Because one, you want to teach Caleb to get under center. Are you kidding me? The dude plays nothing but spread, and now he's gonna have to get under center. That's a no.
It's a
lot. You know
lot.
how hard it is for spread quarterbacks to get under center. Working on a complete 3-step, 5-step drop. Oh, you gonna see him trip, fumble. So next year, Scott is gonna be us again, saying, "All right, let's see what the rookie can do." I'm tired of that. God,
I'm beyond tired of it. I'm fed up to it. Like I'm at the point where I'm going Sunday to fill my game quota and see what that SoFi press spread looks like. That's pretty much where I'm at with it. Predictions. Now I know y'all all said blowouts. By how many points actually do you have this team winning?
17. I got Chargers by 17. Whatever capacity you want to put it. Chargers by 17. It's not going to be relatively close. I think, like people talk about Beja getting the ball out quick and all of that other shit. So we get to a point where teams are going to sit on that and they're going to have to, he can force him to make a play. And then when he can't do that, then we're fucked. Just like a lot with Mitch, when a lot of times when they would they would make him use the other side of the field and he couldn't fucking do it. So they're going to expose that and the Bears are going to be cooked. So like I said, Chargers by 17.
It's when Mitch first came to the Bears and Mike Glennon was playing before him. People are like, man, I don't know we should put Mitch in. Mike Glennon's doing fine. I'm like, he's just getting the ball out on predetermined plays. It's boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it's going to work because that's what he does. When you have to go boom, boom, and you got to start looking at your routes, you got to start diagnosing, that's when he sucks. And I don't know if this is going to be Bajan. I have no clue, and I won't say it will be. But it's going to be that little out route that you were throwing is going to be sat on now. Yeah. So now the throw you're going to have to make is going to have to be God level. If you can't do that, now it's time to look at it's time to diagnose the actual scheme of the defense. And then knowing that you have to play, it's going to be this ain't D2. This ain't D2. This is a different ball game. Everybody fast, everybody cold. So if he does well, that's a great sign for him. But it's a different ball game. The ball getting out quick only matters to Huff niggas. It's only matters because it's a basic skill. It's a basic skill, and it's good to have, but you don't do that the majority of the game that you have. The majority of the game, maybe the first couple plays, are you're running the predetermined. All right, get the ball out. Boom, boom, run. Then it's time to, all right, now it's actually time for you to make a move. And on a small little game like you have with Tyson, that's cool. But now you're in that second week, you have to do more than that. And I guarantee they're going to be waiting on that. You're going to have Bosa and Mac on both sides. Good luck. Now, if I see my boy Darnell Wright put them niggas on their behinds, then I will be even happier.
I'm gonna say Chargers by 10. I do think it's gonna be a close game.
35-10, sorry.
35. Jesus. I do think it's gonna be a close game. I think Chargers by 10. I do feel like the reason why I think it's gonna be close is because the Chargers have a worse run defense than even the Raiders do. So I do think there's gonna be a huge emphasis on the run, even more than last week, especially with Roshan being back. So I think you're gonna see a lot of Roshan and Foreman in the backfield. But like you said, Joe, it comes down to those little quick gimmies that he was throwing last week. Them shits ain't gonna be there this week because they have film, and that's why you can never get too high on when a rookie quarterback or backup quarterback, anybody comes in, they play even halfway decent because there's no film on these niggas. There's not even no college film on this dude. If you say you watched anything when he was in college, you're a fucking liar. So I think if anything, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers is really he's been looking at that all week, and they're going to have a way to shut those little gimmies down, and they're going to make him actually throw the football. When he's going to actually throw the football, you're going to get a whole bunch of, boy, you look just like your daddy. You want Asante Samuel taking that shit to the crib multiple times. on Sunday. So I think just off that, I feel any and all Bagent hype that there shouldn't be is gonna die on Sunday. I think it's gonna die a cruel death because I do believe they're gonna find a way to lock him down. But I do feel like the only way it's gonna be close because of the running game the Bears have, and also because the Chargers just do Charger shit sometimes, and it might not have nothing to do with how the Bears actually defend them, and just the Chargers doing Charger shit. So I'm gonna have the Chargers by 10 this Sunday. Either way, the Bears lose. One last thing, we're gonna get Joe out
I
here.
will say it's not just because Tyson is Division II that we think he can't do it. There are good players who are in Division II. Adam Thielen was a Division II player. Adam Thielen was a Division II player, and you saw how good he was at his peak. So it's not because he's Division II that I think he cannot do it. But I do think being Division II quarterback and then jumping to the NFL. So, I mean, you're jumping in front of FBS into the NFL. That is a huge, huge jump. That is difficult for anybody to do. I don't think it's necessarily his fault because in high school he was a dog. And in college he was a dog. But it's just a tough hill to climb. I want him to succeed. I want him to win because I cover this team and I grew up with this team. But he has a tough hill to climb. And if I was looking at this like I'm about to bet, I wouldn't bet on him. Not at all. But if he does, it just shows the type of player he are. Unfortunately, a lot of fans, even the players, will see if someone say, I'm not sure, I don't believe, and think, oh, man, it's a slight on the person because you dislike the person or you don't want the person to win. And it couldn't be the farthest from the truth. I want him to. But that's just a tough hill to climb. And it's no longer the scripted plays. You're going to have to get in and actually prove your worth. You're going to have to start doing some touch and some rhythm and some the poise you have. You're going to have to be able to fit balls into windows that are just very, very tight. And I'm not sure. We'll see, though. We'll see for sure.
Yeah, we definitely will see, man. One last very quick topic before we get Joe up out of here. Team meetings after one game with the Chicago Bulls. Team meetings after one fucking game. One fucking game, which I told everybody.
I don't watch the Bulls.
I didn't watch the game either. I was very clear about that because I knew how that game was gonna go. I saw there's a lot of hopeful people in Bulls Twitter. For what reason, I have no fucking idea. But a lot of people were tweeting about it. I'm like, you do know that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be a really entertaining and probably a good team this year if they can stay healthy. Chet is back. You know, Shea is one of the most. I think he's underrated because the team is sorry, but he's one of the best young guards in the league. They've got a thing going on there. I was like, there's no way that this game was going to be a good one for the Bulls. If the Bulls go out there to get straight up waxed by 20 because they're still running out there with that same shit lineup they've been running since Lonzo got hurt. And then you having team meetings after one game. It's going to be a long season, and that's the reason why I have not paid my league pass yet, and I don't plan on paying it for a minute. I'm there.
Yeah.
No, but they changed it. They changed it.
It's only so long they can allow Zach LaVine to be a bitch, bro. Like he is.
Thank you.
Like this guy, he's the prime example of when you pay a guy a slot value based on what you have to pay him. It doesn't always pan out for the team because he's a max guy, but he ain't a max guy. Like this shit is a joke, bro. How many times? I know it's game one, but how many times can we continuously ask, like, well, we're waiting for Zach LaVine to take that leap? What leap is he taking and where is it going to take us? Like, it's time to be fucking serious. Like, they should have traded him. And like, he signed the offer sheet with Sacramento. He tried to leave again. He don't want to be there. And so they had team meeting these player only meetings last year, bro. The shit is not going to change anything. This year. How many years has this man been in the league?
Oh, this has been 10 now.
I would say it's been at least a decade, right? Like Zach LaVine is who he is, bro. Same with DeMar. You see Vooch actually showing passion, being upset because it's like, yo, I'm getting buckets. Now y'all just stop giving me the fucking ball to jack up bricks. Like he was pissed the fuck off, and rightfully so. And like I said that during our preview, it's like the one guy who actually has been consistent with them, Vooch, and he don't get the ball enough. And he don't get the ball enough. They go away from him to let Zach get his shit off. And then it's like, all right, bro. I the Bulls, when I do watch, is borderline unwatchable basketball, bro.
Yeah.
And y'all favorite florist. We're not gonna talk about that shit. But he played tough for 6 fucking minutes and then forgot how to fucking play basketball. So once again, bro, the Bulls are the Bulls. A team meeting day one. I bet you Billy Donovan hit that door like, what the hell?
Like, I can't get in,
bro. Like that's some bullshit. Like that's unfortunate, but
I would say this.
Say to the
I'll
Bulls.
say this, and this is all I gotta say about them sorry niggas, man. Like Javon Carter and Torrey Craig are good moves if your team is trying to win a championship. Like if you're a team and you're trying to get good bench players, those are good moves. For the Bulls, it don't move the fucking needle because the rest of these niggas are sorry. Like you run a 1998 style of basketball. You have to shoot threes, okay? Like, and nobody on the team except for like 4 niggas can shoot threes. You don't have a point guard. I like Kobe. Kobe had a really good year last year. I think for what Kobe needs you to do, he does. He shoots threes. He makes points. He scores a lot of points. He's done that the last year and a half. He does that. He's not a fucking point guard, okay? He's not your everyday point guard. I don't even have a problem with DeMar. Like, honestly, if there's any signing that happened, and DeMar is doing what DeMar has done for his entire career. Like, DeMar is what you see is what you get with DeMar DeRozan. Vooch, how you gonna get mad? You can't get mad at Vooch. Vooch is doing what they paid him to do. That's exactly who Vooch is. The issue is Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley. As somebody who doubles down a lot, I know hard-headed niggas. Them niggas are hard-headed. They want this thing to work so bad, and I do believe if Lonzo is healthy, this is a completely different ball team because of just what he brings. Not only because of you have a guy who's an actual point guard, he's one of your best defenders, and he's one of your best three-point shooting players. This is a completely different team with Lonzo. But guess what? That nigga's not coming back. It's a wrap. I don't care how many times you sit up there and say, I'll be back next year. No, nigga, it's done. It's a wrap. You're toast. So any other general manager who had to worry about getting fired, which isn't a thing with the Rise Over organization, will find a way to actually make a 2023 roster. Billy Donovan left the fucking Oklahoma City Thunder because he didn't want to rebuild again, just for the Oklahoma City Thunder to be better than the Bulls already. And I'm going to close it on that. I have nothing else to say about that team. But Joe, let them know what they can get into. Of course, everybody who knows, they know they can get into you. But let them know when they get to with you, what they can expect on 7 Night at the House this week.
Follow me at Flo Zandolini, 7 at the House. Typically during games when I'm there, I'm the person who is on the handle actually tweeting out. Scott will be the person this Sunday. Yeah, you can catch Scott covering the game. The Bears are gonna lose, and yeah, stay tuned for my page to hear hilarious comments on the game because that's all you're gonna get. I'm gonna enjoy my Sunday.
And a new QB tier next week. New QB tier
for sure.
CSI Cleveland is always funny. But yeah, so we always like talking to you, man. So thank you for joining the show, coming through with Mikey and Bang being on IR.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. We're going to wrap this episode up. I'm going to give y'all my Goofy Mog of the week coming up here, man. So for my Goofy Mog of the week, man, I'm gonna give this to Mr. Adam Silver. Because of how he handled the situation with Charles Barkley. By the way, shout out to Charles Barkley for an actually good journalistic question that he gave to Adam Silver, asking about the domestic violence things that have been happening in the NBA. And that nigga Adam Silver had no answer whatsoever. You got to be prepared for those things. Now, let's forget the fact that a guy like Miles Bridges shouldn't even be in the league anymore. This shouldn't be a conversation. This shouldn't be something that's been lingering as long as it has been. This guy needs to get the fuck up out of here. There's been other situations too that escape my mind right now, but I've never seen a commissioner be so unprepared for a question like that. It's like he came up to inside the NBA and basically was looking like, oh, this is inside the NBA. I'm not going to get no hard-hitting questions. Let me just go up there. I feel like with the situation that you have with Miles Bridges, you should have at least been prepared to address that. At least fake act like you give a shit. Roger Goodell can fake act like he give a shit every now and then. You know, if there's anything that I give Roger Goodell credit, and sometimes he'll double down on not being shit, but he'll at least make you want to think that he thinks that he gives a shit. This is just completely unpreparedness by Adam Silver, and something that I won't say I expected more from him with these kind of topics. I kind of did expect more from him because I feel if anything, Adam Silver has been actually great at explaining how the NBA should be moving forward. Now, some of his actions after that might not meet it, but I do feel like for the most part, he has been straight up with what he's trying to do. And I feel like this was a massive slip up for Adam Silver, man. So I'm going to give him Goofy Mog of the week, man. I just really didn't like how he handled that situation. But shout out to Sir Charles for a really good question that needed to be asked, man. So Goofy Mog of the week, I'm going to give it to Mr. Adam Silver, man. So that's what I'm going to do with that, man. So that's all we got for y'all today. Once again, I'm gonna give y'all the actual announcement again for what's going on. I'm not gonna hold you starting on Monday. The Patreon tier is up right now. The $5 I'm not gonna hold you Patreon tier, and I've got the list of everything that includes because I think I missed a couple things when I had the beginning of the show. You will get the full 2-hour version of this show on Monday and Fridays. Now, the show is not going behind a full paywall. We'll be right here live streaming on Monday and Friday next week and going forward. The second hour will be behind the paywall in full. It will be broken up into segments on the YouTube page on both Barber's Chair Network and HMB Media. For subscribers, I will be doing a special weekly Wednesday version, if I'm not going to hold you every Wednesday. Be 30 to 45 minutes, be me. I'll be breaking down all the stuff going on midweek in the sports world. You can check that out. There'll be audio podcast versions of every episode that will be strictly available only on the Patreon. It will no longer be on the free Apple and Spotify feeds. If you moving and shaking, if you're at work and you can't watch the video and you want to hear the audio, I suggest you subscribe. The audio versions for all 3 episodes each week will be on this Patreon tier. We're going to have exclusive vlogs. I'm going to be heading to New York in a couple weeks, so you're going to check out everything I'm be doing out there. Probably going to do a special New York version of I'm Not Going to Hold You. You're going to get all that through the Patreon. All the on-field, on-court, post-game recap videos with the Chargers and the Clippers, I'll be putting also up on this Patreon. And then I've got a new interview series. I'm Not Going to Hold You one-on-one. Will be dropping on the Patreon next Tuesday. First episode, we'll have Jonathan Hood from Cap and J Hood Morning Show on ESPN 1000. That will be dropping next week on the Patreon. Of course, individual show segments that you get on YouTube, you'll be getting them first on the Patreon. And when the Barber's Chair Network merchandise store will launch, which we're aiming for January, we will be handing out discount codes to members of that Patreon tier. Now, if you are already a member of the I'm Not Going to Hold You, if you're already a member of the Barber's Chair All Access tier, which is the $10, you're good. You don't have to sign up for anything else because you get everything that's on the Patreon. If you're on Summer Sessions or Saving Night the Hallis tier, you might as well just go on to Barber's Chair All Access to add that so you can get everything else. But once again, the show is still free. But if you want all the extra shit and if you want stuff earlier, ahead of time, subscribe. Patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. That will be beginning on this Monday, October 30th, man. So if y'all want to support, it's $5, man. We appreciate everything for all y'all, man. So y'all know to follow me on Twitter at Barberchair Scott. You know to follow Barber's Chair Network at Barberchair Net on Twitter and Instagram. You know to follow Dante at October's on Tay. We'll be back next week with the whole crew. Bang and Mikey will be back off IR. For all of you who are looking for Mikey's weekly parlay, he won't be doing a video because he's sick, but he will be sending me in his picks, and we will be tweeting out those picks before the games on Sunday, like always. So you still have your parlay, and you'll still have your player props for Sunday slate of games, man. So, Dante, is there anything you want to say before we get up out of here, man? Anything you want to say?
Negative. I'm good, Brody.
So we up out of here, man. Once again, I appreciate everybody for all the birthday wishes. I fuck with all y'all, man. So we gonna holler at y'all next week. We up out.
I can't let people. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.